are back here on the Inland Marine Insights podcast, where I am joined by Miss Kate Brown. Kate, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me, Patrick.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. I'm excited to talk to you. Now, you are the co-founder of Plimsoll Safety, correct?
Correct.
Tell us a little bit more about Plimsoll Safety and kind of what you guys do, if you don't mind.
Well, thanks for asking, Patrick.
Yeah.
Plimsoll Safety came from my experiences working as a captain and crew member for about 25 years.
Okay.
And then moving into safety and operations management from crew boats, tugboats, and supply boats, really all over the Pacific and in the Gulf Coast.
That's awesome. And, you can hear all the noise in the background. We're here at IMX in Nashville today. Part of what we're doing here, Kate, is really we're trying to kind of highlight the people and ideas that are really involved in innovating and kind of moving the maritime industry forward. And I think you guys are doing some really cool stuff at Plimsoll Safety. And I kind of wanted to learn a little bit more about I believe you call it your crew care initiative and some of those programs. Would you mind kind of discussing, that program a little bit more and the services you offer?
Sure, Patrick. Super excited about crew care. Out there in our maritime industry, I think it's interesting that we don't necessarily address the human part of safety. When, if you look at the accidents and incidents that we have in our industry, about 80% of the remaining incidents that we have are human error or procedural issues.
Wow.
So how are we going to address those issues in a really human, person-to-person kind of way?
Yeah.
And our answer to that is crew care.
Yeah.
And crew care is a random ride-along offer that gives a company consistent ride-alongs by licensed expert mariners who come on board your fleet of vessels and give you a real third-party look at what's really happening on board. But it's not just an evaluation or some kind of audit or checklist. It results in a conversation with your mariners.
Okay.
And a conversation allows people to be honest. And when you get honesty, then you can find real solutions.
Yeah, that's awesome. Kate, those ride-alongs, is there kind of a standard length that most people do with those ride-along trips? Or is it usually a full, 28-day, 1-month cycle? Or does it just kind of vary depending on the needs of the company?
Ride-along length varies on the needs of the company, but generally is in 3 to 7 days in length.
Okay.
So in 3 to 7 days, you get past that 1 day or 2 day period of time when anybody can, keep it together and stay to the checklist. And
sure.
All right, we can show you what you want to see for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But in 7 days, the truth comes out.
Yeah.
And you see how things really are and what life is really like.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I think, definitely we're in a really unique position now from, workforce development seems to be a key topic here at IMX. And, I think companies in all spaces, not just the maritime spaces, are really struggling with, how to leverage and position themselves to best hire and recruit and retain qualified individuals for the services that they offer. And I think that's a really cool approach to helping companies kind of discover that, the human element side. So kudos to you guys and being able to offer those programs. I was curious, Kate, what are you seeing specifically working with companies maybe on the mental health or just the general health and safety side? Any common challenges or feedback that you're seeing from some of those assessments on how companies are kind of solving some of those problems?
Absolutely. I think that, for example, our crew care initiative does what we call bridges the gangway gap.
Okay.
And I think there's a real gap between what happens on board the vessel and what's going on in the office. And being able to translate from the language in the office to the language on board the vessel is really key to understanding the mental state and the mental health of your mariners and how to help them.
Yeah.
I think that companies like HealthWorks are able to address the issues that are going on, but first you have to identify the issues.
Yeah.
And that's a real challenge. You know, if you can identify what's going on by learning to speak the language, then you can offer different kinds of workshops or different kinds of assistance and well-being packages to your mariners in order to, help them improve even when maybe they don't know quite what they need.
That's exactly what I was like. What's the old saying? Like, sometimes we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
And I think your guys' approach is really neat to uncovering that, because I'm sure there's some commonalities in the maritime space that we're all facing, but there's probably some different challenges. Every company is different with how they operate, and the cultures are different. So your guys' approach to literally being boots on ground to kind of uncover that's really cool. That's really neat. What else? Anything else you would like our listeners to know kind of with Plimsoll and what you guys got going on here?
Well, I think a little bit like accounting doesn't work by taking the receipts out of a shoebox once a year, like maybe it used to. A safety management system doesn't work by taking the binder off the shelf once a year.
Ooh, I like it.
You know?
Yeah.
And we all have to consider that and evaluate our approach to safety management and find unique approaches to the questions that we have today. Everything is so digital that sometimes we have to look at a human way instead of a digital way. And combine the two. I think one of the real challenges we're facing with mental health really is the digital overload, and where we used to be completely disconnected from our families for 30 days at a time. Now we're overly connected.
The challenges that presents is kind of just a whole different animal that I think we're all kind of learning together. I don't think we've quite figured that out yet. No, I couldn't agree more. Miss Kate, kind of in closing here, what's the best way for folks to connect with you or Plimsoll if they wanted to learn more about some of these care initiatives that you guys are working on? Is there a preferred way to learn more about you guys and connect with you?
Absolutely. Check out our website at plimsollsafety.com. I'm sure on your podcast you're going to have our contact information.
We will.
That phone number goes directly to me. You can call me anytime.
Well, great. Well, Miss Kate, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been fun chatting with you, and I hope you have a good rest of your IMX show experience.
Thanks so much for talking with me.
Thank you. Yep. All right, thanks.